Welcome back to Metals, Money, and Markets. We are December 15th, 2017. I'm Rob Goodman from MiningClips. And as always, the Mercenary Geologist, Mickey Fulp, is going to break down the action. Well, Mickey, I'd say a small rate hike and this tax bill looks like it's probably going to be clear sailing through the House and Senate and head to 45's desk. Sure got the markets going here. Let's start in the metals where modest gains kind of stopped a little of the bleed in the last few weeks.
Yeah, well, I would say very modest gains. Precious metals are basically nearly flat for the week. They made a little rise today after the Fed rate, which was already baked in, took some steam out of the market. But that said, gold closed at 1256, up $8 for the week. Silver was up about 25 cents to 1605. Platinum gained $7 to close at 892, and the big winner once again was palladium, up almost 2% to 1016 for the week.
And heading over to copper, a not so modest 4.7% to the upside. Nice week for copper.
Yeah, it really was. So we had that anomaly last week where the market freaked out and the speculators ran away from the market, probably because there were too many longs in it, dropped it down 13 cents last week to 296, and it was up 14 cents this week for a 4.7% gain to close at 310. So it's been a wash. It went down, it went up, and the thing about copper is it's still in very strong contango after temporarily being in 2-month backwardation last week. Chinese demand remains very strong, strong economic data out of China this week, which drove the market. And the Baltic Dry Index, which is the cost of moving bulk dry materials, including copper across oceans, is at a 2-year high. So that all leads to a very bullish outlook for copper in the short term, despite analysts claiming that it was going to go down to 260 or 270 after last week's debacle.
Shifting gears over to energy, a pretty flat oil market, but uranium, the roller coaster ride continues off this week.
Well, uranium's stuck in this $24 to $25 range. I expect it to remain stuck despite the significant production cuts. There's still such a long way to go for uranium that the end is not in sight for the bear market there. Oil was flat over the week. World inventories continue to fall, and also U.S. inventories down a whopping 18% since April as the market comes into greater and greater balance. Rigs were down 1. That's after a 5-week rise in rigs drilling. That's probably in preparation for the holiday season. U.S. imports are down to averaging below 7.5 million barrels. Exports remain high at about 2 million barrels a day. And then we've got what really moved the market up and down this week, and not very much on either side, was OPEC talking about a shrinking supply surplus. Meanwhile, the IEA, whoever the hell these people are, the International Energy Agency based in Paris, that stinks of the EU to me, is predicting major surpluses going forward.
Moving over to the currency markets, a relatively flat week across the board here.
Currencies flat over the week. Dollar closed up a penny at 93.93. Euro lost a little bit, but still closed at 118. The loonie was down 0.04 of a point to close at 77.68.
And finishing up with these equity markets, the trifecta for the U.S. markets, all up.
Records today across the board on this tax bill, which looks like it will be passed despite the fact that no one's seen it, and they all say they're going to either vote for it or vote against it, but they'll go back over the weekend and have their staffs looked at it, whatever that means. I do know that there are now 7 different tax brackets, and there's no relief for people that you would classify as upper middle class. Those rates basically have remained the same. minus the Obamacare surcharge. That went away. But the markets really like it. Dow, S&P 500, the NASDAQ, all up over the week to record highs today. 24,652 for the Dow, up 1.3%. S&P 500 up almost 1% to 2676. NASDAQ up 1.4% to 6937. This tax bill better pass or these markets are going to take a tumble. And the real concern here is I think we've got two senators who are the walking dead, and we're hoping they can live until and make it on the Senate floor to vote for this next week.
Yeah, we'll keep our eye on that for sure. Finishing up with the venture. Nice little week, but back to back here for the venture.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. We're still in the middle of tax loss season, and that's the volumes have been the highest for all year over the week. So probably averaging 120 million shares a day on the venture. It rallied. It was up 8 points to 801 for 1% gain. Tax loss season is in full swing here. It looks like it was concentrated in the first week of December this year, although certainly some stocks have gone down this week. If a normal pattern holds, today's the 15th, we'll have another 2 or 3 days of tax loss selling before the peak will be over. Canadians have 5 more days to trade this year, and then they're done. Americans look like we have about 8 more trading days.
All right, Mickey, we'll certainly keep our eye on that tax bill because I agree with you. If it doesn't pass, we're going to have one heck of a show next Friday. So have a good weekend. Appreciate the insight.
All right. Thanks a lot, Rob.